he has good technique, he will be elite. If his technique becomes great, not just good, then he's a Hall of Famer.
Drive face, full cell vertical, get into the blind spot, and he absolutely burns it. Corner is lost. He literally has no idea where Wilson is.
Long, fast, how he approaches the game, how dedicated he is to football. He's ridiculously good, man. You have to be ecstatic.
This is actual film. This is actual football talk. It's a football show. We're supposed to talk football, not storylines.
He's right here on the bottom, number 87. Isolated 3x1. He's on the boundary. Let's see what he does. It's Uzomah route. Yeah, obviously not the best route I've ever seen. The thing with the route, initially I'm okay with him. He presses the outside. The defender is kind of in no man's land and heads up. Guys will play no man's land and even like squat on tight ends. They're not really overly concerned about them getting away from them at the line of scrimmage, like a dive release or anything like that. So they're going to play it a little bit more conservatively. But right here, he closes the ground on the DB. After he closes some ground on the DB, stemming a little bit outside, he takes the inside, which is good. Again, he stems outside to get him that room inside. Does it a little bit of like a chicken wing / punch through just to make sure he's clearing his chest as he's running up the seam. Runs up the seam. That's a good job. Or he bends the route back into the DB. Again, you don't want to get inside and then just kind of bow the route inside. If anything, with a guy with his size and just in general, typically you want to see him start to lean back and fight to hold his stem with that DB, because when he breaks, him fighting against the DB is going to work as like a natural push off point, and it's also going to not allow the DB to stick the route. He'll be able to match this route with athleticism, but Uzomah is obviously 6'7", 260. He wants to use his physicality versus that DB. So good job holding the line. Now the break is not the best, because right here we want to see stop, break, pivot, and then get back, and he falls. Why does he fall? Because a stop step. I know he's getting leaned into a little bit, but you can see the stop step. He is very, very straight up and not really getting. He's not really slamming down into that stop step. Again, he's pretty upright, which again you really want to get your chest over your knee, and really condense yourself to stop. So there's that part of it, and then immediately trying to pivot after a stop step, which really didn't do much, and especially when that break step or that break step is not really in front of his frame and it's kind of out to the side of his frame, it's never going to lead to a good break. So we need to see much more emphasis on the stop step, and then that break. We need to see that be more in line with the 50-yard line right here. So ends up slipping to the ground. Obviously, okay. First play, not the best. With that being said, again, I am not putting these in any specific order. Whatever order you guys get them in is the order you get them in. Again, for the people who are only getting like 5 to 8 plays, again, there is no priority order I put these plays in. So you get the good or you get the bad, doesn't really matter. To me, the people who are going to see the full review are going to see the whole gambit. So pass block right here, Uzomah. Let's see what happens. And again, some of these we're going to be able to go over relatively quickly, especially when it is a lengthy review. 57 plays can be quite a marathon. Again, a lot of these reviews coming up are a little bit of marathons, but they all deserve it. Again, this is our starting tight end and probably the Jets' best tight end since, probably Dustin Keller. Obviously, I would say Keller is more of a dynamic passing threat, but Uzomah is probably the better blocker. So with this pass rep, it's a relatively good job. It's pretty simple to break down, but he is a part of the offensive line, and it's a good and on this play in terms of the blocking scheme. He's actually an offensive lineman. Obviously, he's on an extra tackle here, but they're running play action, and he does a good job just stepping inside Y to guard that C gap. what is the what is the most immediate threat to the quarterback for this defense or for this defender to Uzomah is the C gap. So he steps in to protect it, which is a good job by him. After that, he stays attached. We're seeing a very active drag hand. If not, it might even be an overlap if he's touching, which is, again, good. Letting the tackle know, okay, I'm to your right side. You know, you might have to not sit so far outside. You might be able to protect that B gap a little bit more, but really good in terms of the technique with his hand, or the overlap technique with his hand, staying square to the defender. Again, framing him pretty well right here. Not oversetting, not opening up his hips too early, gets hands on and matches him, you know, using his length. But this is a good play. It's a legitimately good play. You know, again, pretty simple, but it matters. You know, he's blocking a D end one-on-one right there, and the D end's not moving. So it's pretty big. So I think this might actually be faster this way, because I'm sharing Monosnap or whatever it is that I record on. I think Monosnap, and it's just automatically sharing me. So it's actually killing some dead time where I have to go and click and do all this stuff. So it's actually pretty nice right here. Even though you guys see a little bit more of this, but it's better on my end. So this is kind of nice. Uzomah split, okay, right here. So you're going to see an inside tight zone. You're going to see him split. He's going to kick out the email right here. So let's see. Kick out, cut. Okay. Obviously, the main goal, he doesn't have to create that displacement. He's just trying to hold him to the backside. It's not like he's trying to drive him down the field. Obviously, if he does, that's great as well. But here, I'm not overly concerned with that. So he's splitting. Now, again, you want to take a little bit more of a high angle. Why do you want to take more of a high angle? Because if you're going to get beat anywhere, you want it to be underneath. Because if he's going to beat you underneath that path to the running back, you're going to have to curve it back up and chase the running back down from behind. Whereas if he's to beat you over the top, he's going to be in the path of where the running back is going. So again, if anything, you want to take a high angle, which I'm not even sure if he necessarily does here. I'm just pointing it out just in general. Good job closing ground quickly. Again, pretty simple. Doesn't necessarily telegraph that the cut is coming. He does it last second, ducks his head last second. There are a lot of guys who are just going to run with their head down and be like, okay, a cut block is coming here. But good job on the cut. Good job diving through the thighs, rolling into it. Good cut block. Again, opens up that room for P. Ryan. And obviously, the rest of the offensive line does their job, but so does Uzomah. Not necessarily easy to cut down a defensive lineman who's closing ground on the running back like he is right there. So next, route effort from Uzomah. Let's see, he's right here. Number 87, obviously, just like Eric Decker, the jersey I'm wearing. I would honestly like to see the Jets bring these back as like throwbacks. They might be a little bit too soon to bring these back as throwbacks, but I really do think that they're going to end up announcing something with that retro helmet. We'll see. So route effort, let's see. I'm not sure what the effort part I'm talking about, to be completely honest. So outside release. Let me watch this again. Yeah, it's the stem. It's hard for him right here. This is Kendrick. It's really hard for him, especially a guy. He's I would say he's a solid athlete for his size. He's not an overly dynamic, really quick athlete. So his stems aren't always going to be great because he doesn't threaten that much vertically all the time, especially versus linebackers who are fast and good like Eric Kendricks. So with him being inside here heavy, it's going to be really hard for him to stem Kendrick in a way to make the inside break very clean. Because at this point, he stems him inside. He has to break inside at a certain point, so he's going to be there. If he just takes it vertical, he's going to break inside and he's still going to be there. So he's trying to press him inside to just get physical. So he gets physical with him near the break point. Again, tries to cross his face a little bit. Why does he want to do that? He's pressing him inside. Kendrick he's hoping that Kendrick is going to react a little bit inside, whether that be just a slight flip of the hips, or like a speed turn. Obviously not, he's not going to speed turn, but a flip of the hips. Then he's going to cross his face. Hopefully Kendrick then panics a little bit, tries to open up vertically. And when he's opening up vertically, that's when Uzomah is going to get physical with that push by the top of the break and break inside. So he tries to cross his face. You can see him try to use that push by, that throw by, and sit it down. So we like the physicality there. It's a route that's really hard for him to win. But let's say if Burrow were to be staring him down here and threw the ball, would he catch that? Probably. Obviously, if he led him to the proper shoulder, but the effort part, I'm not really sure necessarily what I was referring to there. maybe. I guess I could be talking about the effort post the other receiver making the catch and Uzomah fighting to get Kendrick blocked by cutting him off, like ass blocking him. That's obviously nice to see that he's not just going to see somebody else get the ball and just completely give up on the play because he didn't make the catch. So Uzomah block. Let's see right here. Again, he's part of the offensive line as they run this outside zone, and he does a pretty good job playing inside out on that defender, not getting too flat, but working to. He does get pretty flat here, but he does. Obviously the defender sees the movement from the offensive line, all the zone steps, and he tries to expand this to set that edge right there. And Uzomah, now his hands you could see scoop from low, and we want to fix that in general. Obviously, we're going to be more critical with offensive linemen when they're doing stuff like that. But with that being said, his hands come from low. Looks like the left lands into somewhere around the armpit, which is a relatively decent spot to have him. His length uses it, stays attached, keeps driving his feet, works his guy outside, relatively tight arm angle to create that power, a little bit of that lift, drives him outside. Yeah, he ends up falling. Okay, that's fine. But it's a good job on outside zone right there. Zone block. And listen, yes, are we going to see plenty of blocking? We are. I'm not the type of review person, whatever, to not show blocking because it's going to be nearly half of what he's doing on the field is blocking. So it's important. He is part offensive line, part receiver. It is very important. So zone block right here. Again, it's another good job right here of just understanding the scheme, not being patient. There's not a lot of tight ends who are going to open up right here and then just throw this little hand check just to assist. I believe 73 is Jonah Williams. Maybe he's injured and it's a different guy, but I'll call him Jonah Williams and risk being wrong here. But he helps Jonah Williams with a little hand check. Again, steps outside. You don't have to climb immediately. You could stay to this first level a little bit. The first level needs to get blocked before the second level. He understands that, takes his zone step, throws a hand check to the D end, assisting Jonah Williams. Just a little bit, stays square to his threat, and he anticipates outside movement with that threat. Because listen, if he sits inside, then he's going to hopefully get that right hand on, attach it, and then drive him vertically or inside. But again, he's anticipating some outside movement. Gets his hands on right here, and then we're going to see him show that grip strength that he has and drive him outside. Grip strength, extension, drive him outside. Again, tight elbow angle. And listen, he's not going to ever have great leverage on guys because at the end of the day, he is 6'7". So yeah, he's higher than him. But with that being said, tight arm, hand attached, and drive. It's another good zone block by him. So coming to a system where he's going to be running zone heavy, it's a pretty good thing to have, right? Ability to block zone. So another block right here by Uzomah. So now I have a pass block, and he's jump setting this guy, which again, you want to fake like you're run blocking, jump set him because you're not going to see vertical sets on run in the run game, obviously, unless you're running like a draw. That's different. But I'm talking about typical run plays. So again, comes off the ball, steps inside. Why does he step inside? Quickest way to the quarterback. So he wants to close the ground here. There's a relatively big gap right here. So he steps down to guard against any inside penetration, which is good. And it also shows like he's run blocking with those aggressive steps. Good punch timing because it looks like he gets the left hand into the chest, the right hand onto the shoulder, which again, relatively good hand placement right here by Uzomah because he's not trying to drive him up the field. He's just trying to get good enough hand position and get at least inside of him with one hand and meet him quickly because it's a pass rep. He's not trying to drive him. He's not trying to get under the pads and lift him or anything like that. He's just trying to get good hand placement. Again, length, relatively good hands, good base, and he's going to be able to match him right there. It's a good job. Again, it's relatively simple in terms of just stepping inside, getting hands on, but he has good leverage. He has good hand placement. He matches them, and overall, again, he locks up a D lineman on this play, which is Daniel Hunter, right? 99. Is it Hunter or is Griffin? No, Griffin was off the team last year for them, right? I could be forgetting, but I think that's Hunter. So let's see, run block again. There are going to be some passing plays, I promise. But right here, he's a fullback, I form. Let's see. Again, it's another good block here where they're running.